Hi folks, this is All the Fruit. I'm in the beautiful town of Icod on the incredibly beautiful island of Tenerife. And the town of Icod is famous mostly for one thing: the oldest dragon tree, the oldest and biggest and thickest dragon tree in the world. Here it is, behind this house. I made a video about it almost 2 years ago. However, today I'm here to make a video about the second biggest dragon tree. The funny thing is, despite the fact that this one is the second biggest, I don't know if it's the second oldest, but definitely the second biggest dragon tree in the world, nobody's paying attention to it. It's a pity. Well, I mean, the biggest one is just a couple 100 meters downhill, but this here is impressive too. Look at it. Well, the stem itself is not much thicker than a meter, but the base is maybe 3-4 meters thick. Well, once I wrote in a tourist guide that whenever the old tree down there dies, this one is ready to replace it as the main attraction of the city of Icod. But as you can see, despite the fact that they are taking some care of it, they have tied it to four huge posts and also cemented shut a hole in its base. I doubt that this tree will live longer than the champion, so it will probably stay number 2 forever. But it's a really impressive number 2, and since nobody is paying attention to this number 2, I am. Look at it. If the oldest dragon tree didn't exist or didn't grow in the same city, I'm sure this would be a major tourist attraction. Fortunately, as you can see here, about half of the stem is missing and it's been replaced by stones and concrete. That's so sad. I think it's not a good way to repair a tree, but professional tree repair costs tens of thousands of euro, tens of thousands of dollars, and so I think they did it the best way they could. Funny thing is, the tree is of course trying to strengthen itself, so it's putting down a couple roots, trying to overgrow the wounded area with roots. That's really nice. Well, 15 years ago when I came here, I discovered a beehive in this big hole, and they are still here and they are well and thriving. I guess in front of the white wall you might see those black bees buzzing around. Yeah, they are living inside this tree. And they seem to be quite well. Yeah. I'm making this video, well, among other things, because the dragon tree was not only a sacred tree to the Guanches, to the old inhabitants of Tenerife, but it also has edible fruit. Pity is that most of the dragon trees nowadays, of course, they are not selected for taste. They are selected for ornamental purposes, so they are not very tasty. But once in Gran Canaria I found some really tasty one. Most are really astringent and mouth-watering and probably toxic. And around here I think, from here I cannot see them, but when standing down near the old tree down there, you can see a couple other big and impressive dragon trees here. Right now I can see only young ones. The dragon trees, they grow in a wide variety of climates. Well, the Tenerife dragon tree grows mostly in moist climates, like around here. I think you can see from the vegetation that this place where the oldest and biggest, not necessarily the oldest, dragon trees in the world are growing, is very green. Funny thing is that the dragon tree on Gran Canaria, which is a different species, this here is Dracaena Drago, the one on Gran Canaria is Dracaena tamarane. Well, the one on Gran Canaria is growing on very dry rocks and also is not that closely related to the Tenerife one. But the Tenerife dragon tree seems to like very, very moist conditions. Here are the bees. Look at them. The beehive must be gigantic by now. I mean, there are a lot coming out of this big hole. There are also a lot coming out of the little hole over there. Oh, they don't seem to be doing that well, because look at that. Oh, or maybe those are drones. Well, here we have dozens, maybe hundreds of dead bees on the ground. This might be a sign that there is something wrong with this hive, but it might also be a sign that those are drones which died after fertilizing the queen. Yeah, but here you can see once more how gigantic and impressive this tree is. I think inside this tree there must be dozens of kilograms of good quality honey, because I found this hive 15 years ago and here it still is. Well, folks, being second is really not a good life, and this tree doesn't have a good life because of his wounds anyway, but I think it's really nice and impressive and worth being recorded as one of the most majestic and impressive fruit trees on the Canary Islands. Second only to the giant dragon tree, a little bit downhill. So folks, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful island of Tenerife. And don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.